Rob and I met really a long time ago. We've always gone to school together since I can remember, probably way back in kindergarten, first grade, I guess. Our parents obviously knew each other a long time ago with our dads going to school and graduating and then going on to college together. So our families have always known each other, which helped us to kind of get to know each other. And then throughout high school, we had classes together, and then we also had this activity period where we were in the same group. So we got to know each other a lot better then. And then he moved away, or went to MSMS for his junior and senior year, and I was still at New Hope. And when prom came around, I asked him to go to prom, and that's really when our relationship started. So I guess that could be the big meeting point, was when I asked him to come back to prom our junior year.
I can remember being at church one night, and it was at an Easter program we were having, or maybe it was a Christmas program, I don't remember, but anyhow, Stacy was there, and I can just remember I looked across and saw her. Her grandmother's always gone to my church, and I remember I looked across and saw her, and I was like, wow, I think I might ask her out. Well, I asked her out in 6th grade, and that didn't go so well. So about 5 years later, we were both juniors in high school. I was going to a different school at the time, and she called me one night, I guess in February or so, and asked me if I wanted to go to prom at her high school. And ever since then, Stacy and I have just, we've hit it off, we've clicked, and it's just been great ever since.
As far as our first date, we really just started hanging out as friends. So we had been doing things and going places together for a long time, so we don't necessarily have a one time that was set apart from any of the other to consider a first date. But if I had to say something, it would probably be the night that we gone to get something to eat, I believe, and then we came back to the house, or to my house, and watched a movie. It was a baseball movie, of course, because Rob loves baseball, but anyway, we just kind of watched that together, and I guess that could be our first true date.
For Stacy and me, it was probably, I guess we went out to eat, just grabbed something real quick, and then we rented a movie. It was Hardball, and brought it back here, and just hung out and watched the movie. That was probably our first date. Our first kiss, it was just nothing more than just a peck on the cheek, but after our first date or whatever, when we had come here and watched the movie, I was going to leave, and I just kind of told her I had a good time. Leaned over and gave her just a little peck on the cheek. I guess when we first fell in love was, I guess, right off the bat. I mean, like I said before, Stacy and I've liked her, I guess, ever since 6th grade, and kind of forgot about all that until she had asked me to go to prom my junior year, and it felt right from the beginning that, you know, it really was true love.
When I fell in love with Rob, I guess that would have to be one summer. He was working for my dad, and I'd been going to some camps with church, and I'd come home from one of them, and ended up meeting some family in Clinton, and him and my cousin had been on a trip also, one that I'd been on earlier in the summer, and when I got to see him that day, I was so excited. I wasn't expecting to see him. So that kind of, you know, got me excited about seeing him, and I knew things had been different from the way that I felt when I saw him that day. And then another time that I'd gone to a camp, I called him probably 2 or 3 days out of the week, and I know he was excited to hear from me, and I was real excited to talk to him. And so I think whenever, it was during that summer that I believe that I really began to see a difference and know that I really did love Rob, and that's the person that I wanted to be with forever.
I guess I decided that Stacy was one I wanted to marry a long time ago, right when we started dating. I guess I figured, you know, she's the right one, but I guess you know, a lot of money that goes involved, you know, it's involved with getting married and that sort of thing. And so I knew for sure that I wanted to finish school, and I knew that her feelings about finishing school were exactly the same, that she wanted to finish and I wanted to finish, and we wanted to be ready to start our life together when we didn't have to worry about any education at all. So last summer, you know, I decided it was time, and so I bought the ring and proposed and did all that. And so I guess now we're a month away or so from getting married and finished school. In fact, graduated yesterday. So both of us being done with school and ready to start our new life together.
Rob and I had talked about marriage a lot, and I believe that it was probably not long after we began dating that, that word popped up, and we began to talk about it, but we knew that we were the one for each other pretty early on into our relationship, and that we wanted to get married, but we knew that we needed to finish school, and other important things needed to come first. And then I guess a couple years ago we really started talking about it, and I guess that's when Rob started looking around at rings, and we got really serious about marriage. And then on July 4th is when we really decided to get married, and that's when he proposed.
When I was thinking about how I was going to propose, I wanted to do something original, something that was, I guess, nothing anybody else had really done. So I was trying to come up with the greatest idea I could, and I really just couldn't come up with anything. But Stacy had been begging me and begging me and begging me to go to the fireworks that were out on the river for July 4th. And so I decided, all right, we'll go to the fireworks. And I thought, well, that would be a good opportunity. And then I knew that there would be a lot of people who would be on the water watching the fireworks, taking boats out and whatnot. So I talked to my dad, and I was like, do you mind if I take your boat out? And of course, he really wasn't just excited about that, but when I told him what it was for, he said that was fine. So I took out the boat. I bought the ring, and the same day I bought the ring, I had to go and get the license, or the registration for the boat was up that exact same day. So coincidence, I had to go to town, get the ring, come all the way back out here, get the registration for the boat, have that all ready, and the next day, I guess, was July 4th. And so we went out on the water. Well, it rained while we were out there, and so luckily I have a friend who's got a house out on the river, so we kind of just hung out at his house for a little bit while it was raining. I thought, great, we're not going to get to go out on the water. They're not going to have the fireworks. It's all ruined. I'm going to try to figure out another idea about how to propose. But it quit raining, sun came out, and so I went down to where they were going to shoot the fireworks, and I thought, all right, well, we'll get up against the little island here, and we'll have a picnic or whatever, and I'll propose. Well, a bunch of boats started coming by, and I thought, well, I really don't want to do it in front of everybody, but it would be kind of cool. Everybody be cheering and clapping and hollering, and I thought that would be neat. But the waves and everything were kind of banging us up against the rocks, and so I thought, well, this isn't good. So went around to another area, and it was real secluded, real private, and so we kind of just had our little picnic there on the back of the boat. And I asked her if she married me, and she said yes. And now I come to think of it, I was pretty stupid for doing it, because what if that thing would have fell in the water or something? It just would have been terrible. But it ended up being good. It was nice. She loved it, and she said yes. So it was great.
Rob proposed to me on July 4th, 2006. And we were out at the river. They were having fireworks on the river, and we decided that we wanted to go out there. And Rob came up with the idea of, let's take a boat out and watch them from the river. So I was fine with that. That sounded good. And he borrowed his dad's bass boat and took me out there, and we packed a little picnic. And I didn't think anything about it. We were just going to watch the fireworks. So we were out there, and it began to rain, and I knew Rob was getting a little nervous and watching the clouds and seeing what was going on, but I didn't know what was going on. So I was fine. I was visiting. We had gone to one of our friends' camp house, so I was just visiting with everybody. Well, once the rain cleared off, we got in the boat and went on and had our picnic, and everything was going great. And Rob pulls out, he had a quilt on the back of the boat, and he had dropped red rose petals around and lit these 2 candles. And there was a CD that he made for me right after we first started dating, and he put that in a little CD player that he had brought. So we were eating our food, and after we finished, we were just kind of talking, and he was asking me some things, and it was questions about the future. And anyway, one thing led to the next, and he asked me if I would stand up. And so I did, and he was down on one knee, and he pulled the string out of his pocket, and he asked me if I would marry him. And of course I said yes, and I kind of shook him, and was hoping he wouldn't drop the ring in the water. But it was so much fun, and I was so excited. I couldn't wait to call my parents and my sister and go see the rest of my family and just tell everybody our exciting news, and I just can't wait for our wedding.
I guess when my parents first met Stacy, of course, it's the same situation. They've known her forever, for a long time. And but I guess my mom and dad always thought that the person that I would be with would be, I guess, similar to me in the fact that they would be loud and, I don't know, maybe obnoxious or just talk all the time or something like that. But I don't know, when Mom first met Stacy and thought that she was so meek and humble and shy, and she said it was going to take some adjustment to have somebody around who wasn't so loud all the time. But she definitely thinks and thought at the time that Stacy was a very good compliment for me. So.
My parents, what they thought of Rob the first time, my dad and Rob's dad actually went to school together, so they've known each other's families for a while. And then my mom was a substitute teacher at school, so she always had Rob in her class. So before we ever started dating, Rob was already my mom's favorite. And so I think that my parents were very thrilled when we started dating, and are very excited about having him as a son-in-law. So from day one, they've been in love.
Probably the best time we've ever had together, I think, was 2 Christmases ago when we went skiing in Colorado. I went with her family, and that was a whole lot of fun. I never had been skiing before, and so Stacy kind of taught me or tried to teach me, and I picked it up pretty quick. So, and then I kind of she said I slowed her down at first, so she couldn't pick it back up as quick as the first time she had gone. So then by the end of the time, I was doing better than she was, and of course it was all my fault because she couldn't ski as good as I could after that one trip of me going. But we had a blast. It was a good time. We skied together and had a whole lot of fun.
The best time for me, I guess, is just the simple things when we're sitting in the den watching TV, or we like to go and do things outdoors, whether it's hunting, fishing, golfing, whatever. I think those are my most favorite times to spend with Rob because it's just me and him, and we can be ourselves and we can cut up and just do whatever we want to do and enjoy things that we enjoy doing together.
I don't know that I really have a most embarrassing moment that's ever occurred, I guess, in front of Stacy. Probably for the first couple of years that we dated, I always watched everything I did and was real careful about, I don't know, anything I said, anything I did, because I just didn't want to be embarrassed. But I guess over the past 5-6 years, we've become so comfortable with each other and accustomed to each other's ways that I don't know, I just feel so natural and so comfortable in front of her that nothing I really feel like I do, even if it's something stupid, I just don't feel like I'm that embarrassed about it in front of her.
I guess I'm kind of like Rob, though. When we first started dating, I was real nervous about everything, so I was real cautious. But now that we've been together for so long, nothing really bothers me. It's just Rob.
Took my answer.
So, yeah, I guess I have to say the same thing he did.
I guess our first argument, I don't know if it was really an argument, but it's kind of funny now that I think about it. It was before we actually really started dating. Stacy asked me to go to prom my junior year. I was at a different school than she was, and so I really love to just cut up and have a good time. And I'm not a good dancer, but I really like to try. But Stacy does not. I mean, she don't even like to attempt to dance. And so when we went to the prom, and she'd slow dance with me and do that sort of thing, but she would not cut up and have a good time. And I still poke fun at her about dancing and whatnot. She's loosened up a little bit. She'll get down with it every once in a while, but it's very seldom.
Probably the biggest thing that we have disagreements about is when it's time to go eat somewhere. We can never decide where we want to go eat. And I came up with this little plan for my sister and her husband of putting restaurants in a cup. So you would think that would work for us, but still we probably argue the most over where we're going to go eat. Some of Rob's favorite things, I guess, are a lot like my favorite things. He likes any kind of sport, from baseball to golf to football, whatever. He loves to be outside. So, of course, hunting and fishing and all those kind of things. He loves NASCAR too, which is great for me. So, yeah, we have a lot of the same things that we enjoy doing. I guess that's what helps us go so well together.
Her most favorite thing is, it can't be me. Seriously, some of her favorite things are probably, she loves to cook, and I really like her cooking. She loves anything outdoors, fishing, hunting, just being outside and having a good time, soaking up the sun. She really likes doing stuff like that. And she loves NASCAR. you just can't ask for any more. I mean, her favorite things are all the things that any guy like me who loves outdoors and just loves to have fun. That's definitely the things that Stacy likes to do.
Rob and I both talked about having kids one day, not anytime soon, of course, but when we do decide to have a family, we both have agreed that we would like to have 2 kids. My preference would be 2 girls, but I'll be happy with whatever God decides to give me.
And I feel the same way, except that I would like to have a boy and a girl, at least a boy to carry on the name. So, when I was younger, I guess the person that I always thought I would marry would be somebody, I guess, that's just very stereotypical of what all young boys, I guess, think they're gonna marry. The model-looking type or anything like that. But when Stacy and I started dating, and I really thought that deep down inside this was exactly what I was looking for. She's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen, and just has got every characteristic that I was ever genuinely looking for.
I know 100% without a shadow of a doubt that Rob is the right person for me. Because we've been together for so long. Rob is my very best friend, and I know I can trust him with anything, and he can trust me with anything.
Personally, God has Stacy for me as a helpmate and as just my encouragement for the rest of my life, and I know that God has told Stacy the same things, that I'm the one that's for her, and to me it's just we're fulfilling that plan, the fact that that God has set us aside for one another, and she's going to be there to encourage me, and I'm going to be there to encourage her for the rest of our lives. And to me, it's exciting to know that we're fulfilling that next step in our lives that's actually part of God.
Of course, I can't imagine my life without Rob. I mean, we've been together for 5 years now, so it's just, he's a part of my life, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with him and share all my hopes and dreams with him, just as I have the past 5 years. So I'm excited about marriage, and especially with Rob. I'm glad we can experience it together.
Stacy's qualities that I love the most are just the fact that she is such an encouragement to me, that she loves me for who I am, that she's such a strong, godly girl. She has extremely high morals and extremely strong family ties and values.
He's very intelligent. He supports me in anything I do. He's always looking for a new challenge. He's never satisfied. He's always wanting something better.
I guess if I had to describe Stacy in just one word, which is really hard to do, it would probably be angelic.
It's indescribable.
If I had to say I admired somebody the most, of course I admire my parents a whole lot, my mom and my dad, both. But my brother is probably the person that I admire the most. He graduated college and went into the Air Force just kind of on a whim, and has been very successful in everything he's done. But I guess over the years he never has really taken the time to really show me exactly or teach me things along the way. But he's provided such an example, I guess, as to how to do things, and just taught me so much through just being an example. So if I had to say that I admired somebody the most, it would probably be my brother.
There's been many people in my life that I could call my role models, and the people that I admire. I've had 2 sets of wonderful great grandparents, and I couldn't ask for anything better. They've taught me so many things, and then I could talk about my parents. They've been the best parents that I could ever ask for. They've tried to give me everything that I ever needed, and I couldn't ask for more. I've been so blessed in both of those areas. I have a great sister. I mean, I could just go on about all the people that have been good to me in my life. But probably the newest person, I guess, that'll be in my life, and one of the people that I admire the most is Rob. And I think that's because we've been through so many things together the past 5 years. He's been there for me in good times and in bad. And there's been some tough things that I've had to go through, and he's been there for me. And he motivates me every day to be a better person. And just to watch him, he seeks out new challenges every day and is so determined in life to be the best that he can be. And I just hope that I can live up to that one day. And I just appreciate everything he's ever done for me. And so I guess he would be the person that I admire the most.
I guess short term, I want to be successful at what in the new job that I've accepted. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good father when that time comes, and I want to be the godly leader of the family that I know I should be. I guess those are my ultimate goals and the things that I know that that I ought to do. As far as big time goals, I'd love to be able to give Stacy everything she wants and be able to do the same for myself. But you know, I guess ultimately those aren't the most important things, but the first ones really were.
My goal in life is to be the best wife that I can be for Rob, and hopefully one day be the best mother that I can be. I know my mom has instilled in me some great things, and I hope that I can follow her and be the same great mom she was. And I just hope that we'll both have a happy marriage and that we can do things for each other that we know pleases the other, and just be happy for the rest of our life.
My last words that I'd like to say to Stacy before we get married is just that I love you very, very much, and I'm very excited about getting to spend the rest of my life with you.
The last thing I would tell Rob before we get married is, number one, I love you, and I can't wait to be your wife. I know this is going to be the happiest day of our lives, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. I look forward to sharing everything in our future together with a family and anything else that we have in our way. And I just am so lucky to have you and can't wait to be your wife. I love you.